know, like it's kind of, there's where it's popping and.
Yeah, no, it's right in here. Yeah. Just gonna. Yeah, can be a little bit uncomfortable. It's what I call the bottom little toe band. It actually comes from, which is obviously because your little toe's so messed up, but it comes from the very tip here and comes down across into here and up here. But your little toe's still, you know, we made some progress on it, but it's still pretty tight. Feel all that crunchy stuff in there?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's what we call mobile massage, where you start moving away. I used to work on these guys, that truck mechanics, you know, and I'd start like on the ground of their mechanic place upstairs. This is years ago. I was like, by the end of the treatment, they'd be halfway across the room. I'd just follow them. Like, as long as you're comfortable, sure, we can work over there.
Whoa.
Reluctantly, the foot comes back. Okay, have some more, please.
I thought we were friends.
That's right, it's tough love, you know.
Bottom of your foot, I guess, is one of the most sensitive
Yeah,
parts
it
of your
is.
body, probably, right?
Yeah, for sure. And yours are like super tight. They're getting better though. They're coming down, you know, from like 9.7s to sort of 8s and 7s, you know. Should almost start to feel human again soon. Of course, not while I'm working on you. You feel like an animal in a vivisection lab, you know. Or a terrorist at Guantanamo. Yeah, you're gonna tell us who your co-conspirators are. getting in there a bit deeper. It's letting go. Just needed that gentle persuasion, you know, that kind of that encouragement, you know. You can do it.
Wow.
Yeah. This bottom little toe band can definitely be involved in sciatic pain as well. So it's going to come right up there.
Yeah.
Oh, that was nice. Man, the amount of changes that little toe's going through. Good breath, good breathing. If anybody's interested in where the bands of tension run, I have posters of all the bands and foot reflexology posters as well. Just let me know. Email me, brandonraynor@gmail.com for more information, or info@raynormassage.com. Knowing the bands means you can kind of like locate the source of tension, get it out. Like you might have sciatic pain, but it's coming from his foot. Which part, you know, different parts of the foot.
How about with my, you know, the MRI with those compressed, you know, bulging disc, is that, as you're letting the feet are letting go, then it's kind of like,
yeah, because
uncorking.
why are they compressed and bulging, you know? That's the question. Like, they shouldn't be, but what's causing them to be compressed? It's the muscles, you know? And it's the energy that's creating tension, of course. So we get rid of the muscle tension and the energy blockage that are creating that tension, then they should let go. And once they've kindly let go, there should be healing starts to happen in that area. So again, it's all about, can you get it in time before permanent damage is done? I'm hoping so for you. Can't guarantee it, but I'd be very interested to see an MRI of,
Post.
Yeah, post, you know. Was it expensive to get the MRI, or was it covered under your insurance plan?
It was supposed to be. It was covered, but the MRI cost $1,500, and they still charged me $500.
Oh, wow.
Out of pocket, which is crazy.
Yeah. All that stuff is free in Australia if you get a referral from a doctor.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I did. I went through the whole process. I was
Wow.
a good boy, and
Yep.
because I always, you know, try to avoid it, but I did it this time.
Yeah.
And I was like shocked when I thought, oh my, you know, the insurance has approved it.
It just seems so random, like in how insurance companies cannot just go, no, I'll reject your claim, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of, I don't understand the American system, personally. It seems a bit weird. it seems like it creates a hell of a lot of anxiety in people here too, you know?
So what do you have when you're, like, how does your health insurance, you just get stuff done in Australia?
Yeah, I have health insurance with when I'm traveling with my credit card as well.
Oh,
Yeah, that covers me as long as I go back to Australia every 6 months. That was a good click.
you say with your credit card?
Yeah, American Express. As long as I maintain my residency, residency there kind of thing. It was pretty good.
The quality too good? Like, I mean, when you go and get your, it's just kind of, you feel,
Yeah, it's all good. Very modern, you know. I mean, both of our kids were born in public hospitals. Didn't cost us a cent, you know. High quality cesarean sections, you know. I mean, I'm not saying cesarean sections are always good, but in Corey's case, I think they were necessary, you know. I haven't really. I mean, yeah, like if I get a blood test for my diabetes, I pay a little bit, like $28 or something towards the doctor's appointment. The Medicare pays the rest, and then the blood tests are free. I mean, we pay for it as a 3% levy on our taxes once you're over a certain income, but it just takes away a lot of anxiety, you know. I could have got my cataract surgery done. I got cataract surgery. I could have got that done on the public system, and they were like, "Oh, it could take a while." My guy convinced me, but actually, it could have been. It was only
I
going to
didn't know
take
you had
2 months.
cataract surgery.
Yeah, I had cataract surgery a couple of years ago.
Wow.
That was scary, but it was actually
Is it
really
like laser
easy.
kind of thing?
What's that?
Laser?
No, it was laser was too. My eyes were too bad for laser, so I had to have actually the whole lens replaced. So it was a bit more complicated than laser surgery. I went private, but I probably could have gone public and it would have been absolutely fine. I was just a bit overly scared because it was my eyes, but the public system is very good in Australia. But dental's not covered under the public healthcare system.
Oh, it's not?
No. With optometry, you can see an optometrist and it gets paid for by Medicare, but if you want to get glasses, you pay for them yourself. Kind of.
Okay.
But
Well,
I think overall with
They call the system there Medicare,
Medicare, yeah.
just like in the US. for
Yeah, but it's a
older
very
people here.
yeah, but it's for everybody there, you know. It's one of the things that Golf Whitlam introduced back in 1975, and I think it'd have the support of probably 98% of people. The 2% that don't are probably the ultra wealthy who are paying 3% on, you know, if you're earning $1 million a year and you're paying 3% of your income, that's 30, you know, or well, you'd have to be earning like 3 million to be paying 30,000 a year, you know. But the vast majority of people who are just, you know, you pay, you know, whatever. If you're getting 100,000 a year, you're paying $3,000, I suppose, in Medicare. Most people are earning a bit less than that anyway. You know, and it's just peace of mind, you know. Emergency hospitals, you know, it's all, you go to the emergency section, it's all free, you know. You're not even paying anything when you go. I've been there with Ellie a couple times, you know, for different things and stuff. But like, I went to emergency hospitals in Hawaii, and I'd get like a $3,000 bill, you know.
Yeah.
It seems like my looking at it seems like Americans are getting themselves ripped off because they're paying the most by far per person for medical stuff in the world, but they're only at the like average, like maybe somewhere between 18th and 29th in quality, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, obviously, I think natural therapies and prevention are the smartest thing, and that's not covered in Australia, which is stupid, you know.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, it's an investment. You know, people make an investment into their health. Australia's a kind of a combination of capitalist and socialist. You know, it's not like all socialist by any means. There's a lot of very wealthy people there. But you got a really big safety net in Australia where you're not. If you're unemployed, you get decent benefits enough to survive. You got free medicine. If you're not
But they
going to
still have that thing for when you have children there that you get a payment as well?
We got that. I think they got rid of that. But you get like pay. The government will pay you child like parenting payments and stuff like that. You know. So when you're parenting, they'll pay one parent a certain income. You know, to parent the child because they obviously think it's better to parent have a parent at home with the child. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got.
Well, that's pretty revolutionary, actually.
Oh yeah, the guy that introduced it, I'm a big fan of his. A lot of people not everybody likes him, but he was a great man for the Australian people, Gough Whitlam. He was overthrown by the fucking Governor General in 1975 in a coup. He pulled Australian troops out of Vietnam. He introduced Medicare. He introduced its free universities, and gave Aboriginal land rights and stuff like that. So the extreme right really hated him.
Yeah.
But he was a man of the people, and he was actually, I've been reading a book about the history of Australia by John Pilger called The Secret Country or something, and the overthrow of him was absolutely atrocious. Basically, MI6 and the CIA didn't like him, especially because he was pulling out of Vietnam, and he was becoming basically an independent Australia, and he was about to expose how the CIA was trying to overthrow the Australian government when the Governor General fired him. And ever since then, we've had these weak-washed, fucking unmemorable prime ministers, who never really bring up the actually seem to care for the people, He was a great man, I think. Some people credit Gough Whitlam, Gough, Whitlam, Whitlam. He was a true believer in what he did, and a man of the people kind of thing. I'm pretty, I like that. I think America would be better off. I think the whole thing of paying $50,000 a year for university just creates this elitist class, because the majority of people can't afford that. Rather than, in Australia, it's based on merit, like how well you did in school, Like I went to Sydney University. Now they have a thing called HECS, Higher Education Contribution Scheme, where after university, if you earn more than like $35,000 a year, you start to pay like 1.5% back towards your HECS debt. That was introduced later. Whitlam had it completely free.
Yeah.
So that's a compromise, but I don't know. There's pros and cons, but here it just seems like people are like straddled with this debt, from going to university that lasts forever, and then they get fucking hit by medical bills that knock them for six, as we say in Australia. That's a cricket term, but basically, you get kicked, like lose your house, or you know what I mean, like kind of get. I mean, you've had medical bills, You just that wouldn't happen in Australia,
Yeah.
You're never gonna be. Like, it's kind of like with homelessness in Australia. The main people that are homeless are like people that are like so drugged out, they don't, I mean, housing prices are going up. Well, there's basically.
Is there a homeless problem in the cities there?
Not like here. No, it's very minor compared to here. Here, like, I don't know, I'm saying St. Louis, because St. Louis is really good, but like the West Coast, California, some of those cities like San Francisco, LA are just fucking horrendous. You can't go into a park without getting accosted. Portland seemed like that a little bit. It used to be such a beautiful city, but you know more about it than I do. Is it still like that? Like a lot of homeless everywhere?
Most of the parks are fine.
Oh,
there.
good.
And they have some really nice parks, actually.
Well, I love the main garden there, whatever it's called, with the roses and stuff,
Yeah.
Always struck me as beautiful. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not saying Australia is all great. I'm just saying there's certain things that are good, Preferential voting, I think, is really good. But the fact that they don't have voter ID is terrible, Like anybody can literally walk into a polling station, say I'm John Smith from, 16 fucking Newton Street, no ID, nothing,
Yeah.
And they could then go to the next polling booth and say, no, I'm fucking, Robert Menzies from fucking,
Yeah.
as long as you know the name of a person and you know their address, you can vote. That's so stupid. So open to fraud. But I reckon why the government doesn't want to change it, I reckon that a lot of governments got actually in because of it. They know how to manipulate. So there's a lot of shit in Australia. And I think keeping the monarchy is stupid. Like the fact that the Governor General was allowed to sack the Prime Minister is a travesty of democracy. So, but yeah, but I think you call it ranked, what do you call it here?
Ranked choice?
Ranked choice, yeah, we call it preferential voting. But I'm a great fan of ranked choice because it means that instead of because I think the two-party system here is just, it's too much. It's kind of like only two choices. You know, what happens if both those parties are corrupt and in the bed with the pharmaceutical industries, the military industrial complex, IPAC, you know, or whoever, anybody. Like anybody smart who wants to influence American or politics or whatever just buys out both parties, right? It's kind of obvious to most Americans these days. So I think ranked file voting or whatever, then you can go, well, I like this party, but they may not get in, and I'd rather have this party than you know, in the end, that party. But everybody's here is like, well, I got to vote for the lesser of the two evils, whatever that they think that is.
Yeah.
And it's, well, why not vote for something you actually believe in first? And then it also means electoral funding or whatever goes to those people, and they start to build up. And even they can, in Australia, they often hold the balance of power in the Senate because there's six states and 2 territories, and each state gets 12 senators. So, and they, like here, they're 6 at a time, so they each serve a 6-year sentence. Every 3 years they get, but that means you only have to get like 15% of the vote to become a senator. So minor parties tend to get in more, and which is proportional to the amount of people that support them across. Like in Australia, the 2 major parties are the Labour Party and the Liberal National Party, and each of them have about 30% of, supposedly 30% of the electorate support them.
Yeah.
So there's 40% of people that are independent voters. But in the House of Representatives, they're really not. They don't get 40%, you know.
Yeah.
Although they are starting to have much more independence, but in the Senate they tend to have all sorts of different parties up there, and so the government has to make compromises in order to get legislation passed. So I think that's good.
How's this leg feeling, you think?
Oh, it's so much better.
It is?
Oh yeah, but it's just, you've got some hardcore stuff that's what I call stubborn tension, you know?
Yeah.
It's kind of like, ooh, I'm gonna fight to the last man kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
And then I'm just trying to roll a bit of heavy artillery over it or whatever, you know? Tanks, you know? We're going, no, you know, we'll fucking get you, you bastard, you know? And in here, you know what I mean? Like that whole flag of like, ooh, feel sorry for me starts flying, and you know?
Yeah.
And I go, okay, you know. You can see it's getting late, right? My brain is sort of. But yeah, I think there's pros and cons, but I like both countries, and don't like everything about each of them, you know. But I am a great fan of the American Revolution, you know, stick it to the fucking monarchy and the British upper class and all that. I just think you're better off having an elected head of state. But you're not a monarchist American, are you?
Oh.
Oh, no, I haven't met one yet.